Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 1669 Southeast Llewellyn Avenue here in Troutdale. We're located at the front of the home. We're just to the left of the front doorway, right in front of the bay window here. We have a 3-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. And we've gone through 2 different bellies here so far. We're going to take a look at those on the way out when the line's drained. Okay, here at 54 feet, we've reached the main. I'm going to do locates and turn the water off. Okay, located the camera head successfully out the main on Llewellyn Avenue. We're going to go ahead and let the line drain out. Alright, we're down to just a trickle at this point. There's no more water moving through the clean out. This will be done draining here in just a second. But we're going to get back to this belly here and we'll make sure it's fully drained before we assess that. My rule of thumb with bellies, though, is once you have at least 5 feet of pipe with at least an inch of standing water, that is where I typically start to see regular old toilet paper build up in the line. And this spot here has a bit more than that. We're closer to about 2.5 inches of standing water in this particular area here. Now, and the belly extends, as you can see, all the water's done draining here. Starts here at about 40, we'll call it 44 feet. And you can see how we have stuff collecting in this standing water here. It's not that it can't be lived with, but at this point here, this is a spot where you can get regular old toilet paper building up in the line, not just things like paper towels and stuff that shouldn't be going down the line. But anyway, when I say the amount of water in here, there's a trick here where I'll yank the camera back really quickly. It's a very short belly, but until the camera comes out of the belly, it stays submerged, which means it has at least 2 inches, if not more, if not 2.5. Now, I am going to recommend a spot repair to correct this. This is likely going to be in the street area, so I would contact the city and find out if they accept responsibility for the street portion of the line. Yeah, I've got this mapped out with an X at each end of the belly, like exactly, it's about 6 feet in length here, and it is out in the street area, so I would definitely contact the city, find out if they take responsibility for the line or not. I'm going to double check these depths here one more time. I consistently am getting about 5 feet on the dot, right here at 44 feet where the belly starts, but I'm getting around 6 feet 8 inches deep at the end of the belly, which is a lot of depth change within only about a 6-foot section of pipe. So you may have to, I would recommend calling for locates in a circumstance like this. There might be underground utilities that are throwing off the locator. That's just a lot of depth change. You know, if it were actually grading that deep, you likely wouldn't have a belly here. It's possible that it is truly that deep at each end, but it's a lot of depth change for just 6 feet of pipe. I'm still getting about 4'11" to 5 feet deep right here, and then about 6'7" deep at the end of the belly. I would call for locates, or either that or just use some caution when digging. It's possible it just settled a whole bunch and it truly is grading that deep there and it just sunk. It's very possible. We've got an offset joint here. And sometimes these things get installed this way just to provide an angle to the line. It's kind of hard to say sometimes as to why this happened. You can have an offset from time to time and still have it be completely sealed off to the ground because you have a rubber fernco securing these two things together. And you can see some of that rubber fernco there exposed on the right between the two pieces of pipe. So this spot here is not quite as significant, at least in standing water, as the other spot. I'm seeing very little debris buildup here. What concerns me though is you've got a belly which has about, this is only about a 1/4 inch of standing water. But then you also have a lip here for stuff to get caught on. This is a spot that I would say is less likely to become a problem compared to that belly that's out further. But these things are almost, it's a hard one. It's a spot where if you're being careful, I'm not seeing a lot of debris collecting here, so I would say it's fairly unlikely to cause problems unless you're putting stuff down the line that shouldn't be going down there. And that's the case for a lot of bellies. That one out further though that we just mapped out is a lot of standing water and can cause just regular old toilet paper to build up in the line. So I'm going to recommend this be corrected. Of the issues, this is certainly the least concerning, but I'm inclined to recommend a repair, especially when there's any type of offset joint, anything like that, with a lip on it for debris to get hung up on. Alright, this is in the front yard area under grass and dirt, and I'm getting 6 feet deep here at the start of the belly and about 6 feet 4 inches deep at the transition there. Recommend that be corrected. And again, if you don't do any corrections on these, many of these issues here are livable. You can see based on the debris buildup, not seeing a ton of stuff collecting in the line. That doesn't mean that it won't though. Every household lives differently. There might be 1 or 2 people in here where 4 or 5 might move in, where these issues are a much bigger problem, especially when you got increased volume coming down the line. I recommend a spot repair to correct the belly and offset joint from 26 feet to 28 feet. That's in the front yard at about 6 feet deep. And then I recommend correcting the belly that has about 2 to 2.5 inches of standing water in it. That's out in the street area. Both are marked with white paint. There's X's at each end of the repairs with dots in between showing the direction they run. The one out in the street there is 5 feet at the start and about 6.5 feet deep at the end. But that one, again, I've already mentioned it before, I'd recommend calling for locates to verify that depth. That's just a lot of depth change in only 6 feet of pipe. Doesn't mean it's not that way, but it's just kind of odd to see that. And I would contact the city about the street portion of the line, make sure that that is either city or homeowner responsibility. It could be the city's problem altogether. Aside from that, the rest of the line we scoped there is in good condition. At this time, we have adequate flow to the main. We don't have any major debris buildup. The line is functioning, but is not functioning properly. And I recommend a rescope after any repair work to make sure it was done correctly.